Marami po, iba't iba at lahat po kami ng member, gumagawa po kami ng mushroom pulburon, mushroom chicharon, mushroom yema, mushroom sisig, mushroom burger, pickled mushroom, gawa ng dried mushroom, powdered mushroom, empanada, lumpia, at yung iba kong mga kasamahan ay nag-e-embento din. Dinadagdagan po kung anong natutunan namin during sa ATI, nag-innovate po kami para lalong mapasarap at mapaganda ang processed mushroom.
Kasi nga, alam mo naman ang mga professionals, kahit sabihin mong naging farmer na sila, nasa puso nila yung pagiging farmer, hindi mo may aalis yung pag nagmi-meeting ay seryoso. Pero yung mga kasama namin sa organization ng mga men, napaka old school talaga. Makikita mo yung pagkikare nila. Also, ang president namin is hindi siya kagaya ng yung nakasanayan niya ng presidente. Before the meeting, magre-ready kami ng agenda. O siya, pagdating sa meeting, gusto niya para lang kaming nagkukwentuhan lahat. Part kasi ng minutes namin ay yung sharing. So it's about sharing of kung ano yung pinagdadaanan mo sa mushroom production, failures mo, hanggang sa nung huli, yung sharing na yun about technology, naging sharing na ng personal na buhay-buhay. Si Pres kasi sabi niya, it is so easy na parang nag-i-istorya lang kita ng aming family kita.
Dahil buo ang aming pagkakaibigan, naging tuloy-tuloy ang aming samahan at naging maayos ang aming asosasyon. Kami ay nakapag-exhibit sa iba-ibang lugar. Kami ay naimbita mula sa Boracay. Nakarating din kami ng Iloilo hanggang sa Tagaytay para sa National Convention ng association. Then mula noon, patuloy pa rin ang aming pagtatanim ng mushroom para sa mga naging suki na namin at nag-process na rin kami ng aming mushroom to value add our harvest. Patuloy pa rin kahit na sa panahon ng pandemic, kami ay nagtatanim masustansyang pagkain. Isa rin sa pangarap ng Aklan Mushroom Association ay makapagbahagi ng teknolohiya ng kalaman sa pagpapatubo ng kabute sa ating community. Farmers ay tuturuan namin sa pagtatanim nito para ang kanilang mga farm waste ay kanilang mapakinabangan tulad ng rice straw na kung saan sa ating paligid. Para ang mga ito ay magkaroon ng silbi at maproduktuhan din nila. Pagkat sa pagtatanim ng kabute tayo ay nakakatulong at ganoon din ay malaking posibilidad na tayo makatulong sa ating community.
The Aklan Mushroom Association is parang ang na ito is parang family outside home.
Institute Regional Training Center 6 welcomes you in Western Visayas. It is the home of the Atihan Festival and the splendid Boracay Island.
Good morning, everyone. We request our resource persons and Dr. Eden Los Reyes Bautista to please come up to the stage and take the seats prepared for you. We are about to start our program. Again, we are requesting our resource persons and Dr. Eden to please come up to the stage and seat to the seats prepared for you. Our resource persons this morning, we have Engineer Lorna T. Kawaling, the Provincial GAD Focal Person, and we also have Miss Myla Beatriz Gregorio from Loch Los Baños. We also have Miss Alma C. Guerrero, the Extension Service Consultant of API Region 6. And we have the Training Director, Center Director rather, Dr. Eden de los Reyes Bautista. And we also have Ms. Alma C. Peña, the President of the Sibalom Livestock and Poultry Racers Association. The 2022 National Women's Month celebration endeavors to highlight the gains and achievement of the women and girls, assess actions toward gender equality, and look forward to steps that must be taken to ensure progress in empowering women to rise above the tides of life. To formally start, may I request everyone to please rise as we open this program in prayer, to be followed by the singing of our national anthem and the DA hymn.
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. Only you know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, we have a vision, hints, and daily instructions. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently. Bless this activity today, all those present as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterward. Ready us to make every moment count. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
have this opportunity to greet everyone a good morning. And I would like to thank our guests, our esteemed visitors, delegates, and also our participants in the virtual world. We are now being broadcast live through ATI's 6 Facebook page. So, virtual world, our netizens, our participants in Facebook, if you have any questions or any queries, you may post it in the comment section. And you may also like, share, so that everyone can see our activity today. This Women's Month, it is our goal to have our women take the center stage, standing up for their rights, challenging stereotypes, breaking the barriers, and serving as pioneers of change. This year, the nation recognizes the women's valuable role in our society and proves that inclusive and sustainable development is only possible when gender equality becomes obtainable. To welcome us all and give her opening message, may we have the one woman who had led this agency. Join me as I welcome our Center Director, Training Superintendent of Agricultural Training Institute, an empowered woman, Dr. Eden de los Reyes Bautista. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, John. Diyan ka lang ha. Our partners, especially from the private sector, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our former RACSI chairman, Elma Pena. Now, the officer in charge of the Sibalom Livestock and Poultry Raisers Association in Sibalom and Tiki. We considered her our former colleague, Ma'am Alma Guerrero. Start? Alma, wala pa. Our partner, Provincial Local Government Unit and Chair of the Provincial Gender and Development Focal System, led by Engineer Lorna Kawaling with her staff. Apat sila, please stand up. Other partners like our rural-based organizations like RIC. Sino pang RIC? Numancia, Nabas, Makato, Leso, Estancia Calibo, and of course the Boracay Women's Multipurpose Cooperative, all the way from the beautiful Boracay. Our local government unit, and also our partners from private sector, and hopefully qualified as our 74th learning site from Hamindan, Capiz, the couple, Roberto couple. Pakitayo po. Also, of course, mind you, this is the first, I think, Women's Symposium where we acknowledge that the first university president of Aklan State U, Dr. Emily Arangcotti, and with us, the presence of Dr. Joanna Corin, Ma'am Alma, yan ang ang boss ko sa GAD. Pero sagad siya, so nag-retire na siya. Pero pagdating sa GAD, hindi siya type. Thank you, Ma. All the way from Antique with Ma'am Peña. So, ganun ka, tawag nito, kalupot, galero, Antique, ag, aklan. Although the theme for today is women rising above the tides of life, I don't know kung anong tides yan, kung low tide, kung high tide. Malalaman na niyo mamaya. Based from our resource person, from the academy, from the extension, from the social services, and leadership and management. So, I think we all know that every year we celebrate this Women's Month celebration. Last March 1, this was the TERFO 6 had its kickoff at SMCT. So, March 1 pa lang, naumpisahan na ito, where the members of the DA family gathered for the opening of this activity. Pero in our women's history, this activity will run down from March 1 to March 31, 2022. So, one of that is that the holding of this Women's Symposium, where I think Miss Emily, or Mimi for short, will discuss further the objectives of this one-day symposium. Stay tuned. We are, sabi ni Jan, we are live stream via Facebook with resource person from Mindanao to Luzon. And of course, tayo sa Visayas. Ganon pala ka-loaded ito, Ma'am Emily. So here, we all know that we are celebrating this Women's Month, which we believe this serves as a venue to highlight women's achievements and discuss continuing and emerging women's empowerment and gender equality issues and concerns with the challenges and commitments. I know how committed you are for giving us this whole day activity. Your presence today is very and highly appreciated. Mag-start lang sa kunti. Don't be discouraged kung tayo kukunti ngayon. But I know that almost all the government agencies are holding this Women's Month celebration. So maybe some of the invited guests namin ay hindi nakarating ngayong umaga. So we look forward for other steps to consider after this holding this symposium. We know that our country is still reeling from the COVID-19 pandemic, and studies show that health crisis stalled movements towards gender equality, worsening inequalities, further exposing gender gaps, and exacerbating vulnerabilities in social and political aspects. Alam natin na kahit yung mga kabataan natin, pamangkin, ako, anak, ay na-withhold for 2 years from our educational service. So, what can we expect? Ano magiging role natin that they can graduate, maybe, pero ano ang quality ngayon ng ating mga graduates after this pandemic or after 2 years? So we hope that by sharing our experiences, we can get some ideas and insights that we can apply it in our daily and personal life. Pero sa totoo lang, itong Women's Month celebration nag-start sa one day lang. Diba? Women's Day in 18 or 1909. Kung hindi ako magkamali, 1909. 1909. Tapos nating na-turn ito week, Women's Week, and then Women's Month. Baka hopefully, no, maging women's whole year round ang women's celebration. Sa trabaho, sa bahay, lahat ay nakasalalay kay nanay. Galing mo, Ma'am Alma. So, I think this theme natin ngayon, Women Rising Above the Tides of Life, sana maging meaningful ito sa atin. Na in spite sa nangyari sa atin for 2 years, hindi tayo na baon. But we rose up. We are rising. And I hope this moment would be a momentous event for us that we can say we have rise up from the pandemic and we will still be hoping that we can cope up kung may dumating pa rin na mga surge up data without fear and without uncertainty. Let's make that uncertainty an opportunity for us to cope up and improve the life of our families. Without much ado, I'd like to formally open this one-day symposium for us women. Mabuhay tayong lahat, mga kababaihan, for we are making that change. Ano nga ang tema natin ngayon? Ayan ang agenda ng kababaihan. But still, we have hoping that we will be providing healing and promoting hope in spite of this pandemic. Good morning and welcome. Mainit na pag-abi-abi sa bawat isa. Especially, nakalimutan ko ang aking mga ladies in purple, in white, and in green. Di ba yun ang color ng, universal color ng ano? Ano nga? Universal color ng women celebration. Purple, white, and green. So, ano man kayong kulay, basta tayo ay mga babae, tayo ang change makers. So, ano pa ang masabi ko, Mamini? Take it away.
Thank you very much, Doc Eden. Doc Eden is a very good example of an empowered woman and also the result of the recognition of women's valuable role in the society. How much more if you're going to empower all the women in our society. So to enlighten us for the background and overview of this activity, may we have another empowered woman, the brains of this symposium. We have the ATI 6 Gender and Development Focal Person, the beautiful person, the confident person with a heart, Miss Emily Revesencio. A round of applause, please.
Thank you so much, John. Na-pressure naman ako doon sa introduction. Confidently beautiful with a heart. Oh, hindi magsugot ang microphone. So my task this morning is to give an overview of the whole day activity. So allow me to share my screen for the sake of those who are joining us live via Facebook. Incidentally, we are making use of the technology in order to maximize our reach for this activity and for the upcoming activities of ATI Artist 6. Kita nyo na? Teka, slideshow na. Alright. Medyo may ano lang, no? May lag time. So, sige. Although naka-share screen yun, iyakakon, medyo may delay. So, welcome everyone to this momentous event. It is supposed to be a month-long celebration, kaya lang we took this March 21 in order to have this simple GAD Symposium entitled Women Rising Above the Tides of Life. Hi, I am Emily Revesencio from ATI RTC 6. I'm the training specialist too, and I'm at your service as always. And this is, we are now here in ATI Training Hall to celebrate this GAD Symposium. Sorry guys, nag-practice kita. Agod makaarangkada kita no sa social media. Okay. So of course, ATI, we are the Department of Agriculture, the Agricultural Training Institute, and we are situated here in Banga Aklan, particularly in the entrance area of the Aklan State University. And of course, as a government agency, our vision is food availability and affordability for every Filipino family through excellent extension services in agriculture and fisheries. And of course, our mission is the empowerment and building capacities of agriculture and fisheries stakeholders for sustainable development. We are led by an empowered woman, as according to John earlier, our Center Director, Dr. Eden de los Reyes Bautista, assisted by the Training Center Superintendent 1, Ma'am Mary Ann A. Ramos, who is actually on dual duty today. We have a opening of bids for one of our season-long program. So they are currently holding an opening of bid conference today. And of course, with us is the team of facilitators coming from the Information Services section. Ma'am Lizelle Margelues Bastian Ocheda, our Media Production Specialist 2. Siya po ang in charge doon sa kabilang station para po makita tayo on Facebook Live. We also have Sir Robert Rafael, Sir Rochi Repiano. Sir Rochi, please stand to be recognized. Si Sir Robert, nasa likod siguro. Ma'am Sheena Angelique Zante. Ma'am Sheena, ang aton multitasker for today. And of course, our Master of Ceremony, Mr. John Venturanza Salmorin. Sir John. And ang partner ko in GAD, we have Sir Vic De Joseph Jr. our agriculturists too, and at the same time, the alternate GAD focal. Yan, si Sir Vic ito sa likod. And of course, iya gihapon dong bilog nga team it ATI. Bali kami lang yung naka-front pero we are backed with our admin, finance, general services, as well as the planning, monitoring, and evaluation unit, and of course kami sa technical services section. Yun, nakita ng mga beautiful mga kasama. Sige, ano na to, no? Yaw. Pa-practice lang po. Yaw. Sige. Sir Chi, Ayan, sige. Shoot, no? Medyo nagalag kita tangkrot mga technical issues, konting glitch. Hopefully, perfect enough. So we have Tina. We have Sir Roch. Sir B. I-run down san. Proceed. So in behalf of the facilitating team, we will Symposium. So why do we conduct the Philippine for Women or the Peace familiar karon through a memorandum circular, the first memorandum circular for this year, encourages participate in the 2022 National Women's Month celebration. National Women's Month celebration is to highlight the gains achieved celebration natin. Nagbaba na tayo ng younger generation, the girls, advance to gender equality and look forward to steps taken progress in empowering women. Theme, we make change for work for women. This has been a 6-year theme, gender and being observed in the whole country. Our here, as mentioned by Doc Eden, is a babaihan, unlaran. So we are talking of development, and we are talking of contribution towards development. So it will be a celebration of women voice, their choice, taking chances, voice, and then from and blazing change. It's a celebration. Philippine no women for. They give priority matter to them and call for concrete. Yun na magkakasama tayo dito ngayon. And empowerment. We treat woman and attain. Because it's mad, but because there is reason to celebrate the women. Reason na meron tayong dito. Our Secretary William bones of that sector are women. In different facets of life, with different roles they play in various industries and sectors of society, especially the women in agriculture and in stakeholders from both the government agencies, the local government units, and the private sector to set up a forum highlighting the contribution of women in agricultural development. So ATI RTC 6 enjoins all extension service professionals, private sectors, and all partners to observe and advocate the cause toward women empowerment. Hence, this symposium is being done. So the objective for this activity is to inspire our rural women. We have invited here women leaders from different RICs and rural-based organizations in the province of Aklan for them to be able to hear firsthand the information, the sharing of experiences coming from our resource person who will talk on their milestones, on programs and projects involving women, and then to enhance awareness and appreciation, as well as enhance knowledge and attitude on women empowerment towards development. So we have specific objectives at the end of this activity to be able to discuss the importance of women empowerment through the sharing of our resource persons, identify and summarize the features of the Magna Carta for Women on Human Rights and Equality, hear and witness the successful women and their stories, and observe skills demonstration, which is a latter part of the day. Observe skills demonstration on food processing to promote a healthy family well-being. So, whole day po tayong magkakasama for today. Sana mag-enjoy ang bawat isa. So, we are expecting 70, including extension service professionals. O yung mga women lead partners from the provincial government. Let's still let's continue to have this precautionary measure. Joy.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Mimi, for that wonderful rationale and objective for us to learn today. So, the Republic Act 9710, or the Magna Carta of Women, is comprehensive women's human rights that seek to eliminate discrimination against women by recognizing, fulfilling, and promoting the rights of Filipino women, especially those who are in the marginalized sector. I was browsing this law and found out that it has over 100 pages. It is very long law, but we deem it necessary to understand. So to give us the salient points and the features of the RA 9710, allow me to introduce our speaker. Our first speaker is the Provincial Government Assistant or the Department Head in the Provincial Capital or Provincial Planning and Development Office in the Provincial Capital, Calibo, Aklan. She took her master's degree in Public Management at Aklan State University, Banga. Development Officer 1 to 4 in the same office, has been the Supervising Administrative Officer, and at present, the Provincial Government Assistant Department Head. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our first speaker to talk about the salient features of the Magna Carta for Women, Engineer Lorna T. Kawaling. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, my fellow GAD advocates. Happy Women's Month. Aton nga Women's Month ay for the whole month of March, no? To Dr. Eden Bautista, kay Ma'am Emily, magkatao nga ni Katon, induna it lecture and ag si Ma'am Elma and my sa mga members improvements agsakon niya makibahan sa agad si Buluchi nga iya makaroon pana tama skit it at agnak ako manamis mamsaset kung dati nag-retired wag kita mo still niya kapabaihan so set ya niya tapik ko makaroon niya ginain mag women and amon sundan na of the women. Para naka-focus na ako niya iko makatang hapon. Okay. Daya mag-sutit sa aton niya kapabay. Aman na ang pangagan. Magna and para kababay. Not for women. Nagita sa kababaihan. Daya Memorandum Circular 2013-01, the guideline of Magna Carta Women. So ato niya mero gid naton tan-awon is about the national government and local government units implementation of development. Related laws, policies, programs are important EU roles in localizing these policies and programs in its successful implementation and making local governance safe. Daya nga guidelines tayo nagagiya kamon sa local government, regional government, with the common goals of and ensuring gender-responsive local governance. The Philippine Commission of Women to Government of Inter-Local Government, the National Economic and Development Authority, the Department of Budget and Management issued Joint Memorandum Circular 01, the guideline development of isang topic localization kasi we are here in the by virtue local government code, di ba? So, from Magna Carta, in the first localized natin. So that's why may by pinatawag guideline of the joint memorandum contains comprehensive guide the 710 of Women Act of 2009. So supported the DILG overall framework on enhancing LGU capacity toward protective and will community, especially marginal and vulnerable group, and ensuring safety in community. Get mo especially this and down sa aton ng mga locality. This provide guidelines and step to annual placement report at naka-government roles agents formulate or gender development in the context of the states. 5% budget on the implement plans and kasi sa atong nakarta mandato gi sa probinsya sa issues upon mga sa aton and more to say to prescribe and in health plan program but monitoring and evaluation for 710 or the Magna Carta to alert and the national government and development at its commitment to in this case which regards to aton nga service ng mga kababaihan. Next slide. Another guiding principle recognize the fundamentals equality of women and men law as provided by the 1987 Philippine Constitutions. Doon natin yung mga guiding principle. That is the basis. Why is it nga dayang programa nga gender and development, no? It's somebody Ma'am Eden and nag-start mo 1909. Then second, women empowerment and gender equality pursuant to RE 7160 or the local government code. Daya itong mga bases, no? The General Appropriation Acts dapat nakabutang ron ag aton nga Magna Carta of Women and other nga mga standard commitment particularly sa aton nga CEDAW nga ginatawag. That is a convention on the elimination of all forms and discrimination of women. And of course, the Sustainable Development Goals. Nakita ko sa inyong t-shirt, doon yung 14 nga elements, doon ng aton nga, nakafocus ron doon nga, part ng Sustainable Development Goals, nga nagatao at serbisyo para ma-attain aton para sa aton nga kababaihan. Another basis naton sa aton nirang Magna Carta, promote the general welfare, provide basic services and facilities to implement program, projects, and activities. Kasi sa atong local government code, una gid aron imaw. Through service yung dapat katao naton sa aton, not only sa kababayan, for the general naton, di ba? Sa general naton nga, welfare it ka atong tao, either man, gaki man, basta, sa local government code ay tao. Pero trabaho it atong nga mga local government nga nagalingkod, atong mga LCS nga ron, ay anda gitawon Praanang pinakauna ng tanawon is at the local government code naton it 1991, hay gatao issue para sa tao. So nakasugod man nun imaw sa atong nga Magna Carta of Women. Then, the last naton nga guiding principle, institute an enabling environment of at the local level that will ensure gender-responsive governance. Kutsinganon, institute an enabling environment. Kutsinan, enabling environment, dapat atong nga tao, lahat, with access to tanan nga services, access to school, access to health, access to protections, lahat yan. Access, kutsinganon, enabling environment, makapangabuhi, diba? Makapamabuhi, makaagtusanda, makapangayot uli. So dapat like muna sa health services, do you know ginambang enabling environment. Kani luog bitay mo ron sa aton nga Magna Carta as one of the basis in terms of guiding principle. Araranda nga institutional mechanism to implement the Magna Carta of Women. Kami sa province, masin sa munisipyo or sa kabaranggayan, hayraya ratong ginasundan. We have to create the GAD focal point system. Daya nga GAD focal point system ay magkaroon ito ng structure and compositions which provided under the Magna Carta of Women, which to carry out its functions. The LGU GAD focal point system shall have an executive committee, a technical working group, and or secretariat. Daya ron, kung ano ron nakasaad sa atong Magna Carta, haruga carry out, ruga ugtakapon, presmano kamon sa province, may amon nga structure. Ngani, doyon ron, ruga develop, it ano nga mga programa, ruga focal point system. So dapat gidon magkaroon kait GAD focal point system. Through GAD focal point system, hayraan na karon nga composition. Of course, pro chairman aton nga local executives. Sa province, raamon nga GAD focal point system, we have the Aklan Gender and Development Commission. Aklan Gender and Development Commissions. Aroyon raton ron nga GAD focal point system, which chaired kaaton nga provincial governor. Agraana karon nga members, doy nabi karon hay naka-prescribe under the Magna Carta of Women kung ano ro mga composition ag structure nga kinahanglan but not limited. Pres kamon sa province, hay may amon tang at least 25% nga mga NGOs, private sector nga include namon sandaon sa executive committee as member of the Aklan Gender and Development Commissions. Kasi kabo-abo man dun andang contributions which focus on the development and gender equality nga andang nga sarili nga programa. That's why we did not limit lang sa prescribed nga ron nga mga kinahanglan naton mag-create structure sa GFPS. Like for example, riyabi sa aton nga nga structure, hayro mga members karon of course mga department heads at different offices. Si Ma'am Susette ay member imo contact mo ra among department heads as a provincial treasurer's office. Chairman of the Sangguniang Committee on Women, Children, and Family and Appropriation. Representative from the PNP, Women's Desk, Indigenous People, Persons with Disabilities, Private Sector, and Academe. ag ibang NGOs makita no ag pro vice chair nga ron depende ron kung sinuro matuhaw sa different offices nga mag vice chair sa GFPS ay sa province nga structure ro co-chairperson ay doamon nga PPDC the Provincial Planning and Development Coordinators Engineer Isto. Imaro co-chair ni Go because pro Gender and Development Office ay iya sa amon nga opisina. So that's it nga imaw kay pro co-chair ni Go aton nga Aklan Gender and Development Commission. So yun. Ag kabuabo kita ron among nga members sa executive committee. Nakita nyo nga aside from the executive committee namon may amon pang ginatawag nga PTWT mga task force doon ro nga working force kasi atong department head na masyado tasandaron nga pasako so andang counterpart nga halin man sa andang opisina sandaron ng mga members at PTWT and pro secretariat as ako ro GAD focal point ay kibahan ako sa PTWT ibahan man ako sa secretariat, pero galingkod man ako as representative, as member of the executive committee. So yun taro structure in province. Walang kami galimit kung ano gin-prescribe. As long as may amon nga ma-accredited NGOs nga gusto maglingkod sa aton nga ng GFPS. Hararana nga kaya na ako nga ginhambaro kung posisyon do. The GFPS Technical Working Group shall be composed but not limited to. So, structure ta depende sa LGU. Ibutang naton ro ano ro sa mandate base sa raya nga guidelines pero gin-extend damon nagdugang pagit kami para mas manami kun abo kamong nagabuligan no in terms of gender empowerment. The general function of the LTO GFPS, hararamon yung mga trabaho. Pursuant to the Magna Carta of Women, IRR, implementing rules and regulations, the GFPS, GAD Focal Point System, is tasked to ensure and sustain the LGU's critical consciousness in supporting gender and development, women's empowerment, and responding to gender issues. It shall take a lead role in direction setting, advocacy, planning, monitoring, and technical advisory in mainstreaming GAD perspective in the LGU's program, projects, activities, and processes. Nakita no, all PPAs, program, projects, and activities ay naka-mainstream kita karon do gender perspective, the gender and development. So, dapat lahat-lahat na mga projects ay aton get i-mainstream do gender perspective. So, yun. Ayan lo, trabaho, rule it aton nga chairperson. Issues policies or directives that support gender mainstreaming and the policies, plan, PPAs, and services of the LGU, as well as its budget, system, processes, and procedure of the LGU, including the creation, strengthening, modification, or reconstitution of the GAD focal point system, and ensure the implementation of the GAD plan and budget and approve GAD accomplishment report and other GAD-related reports of the LGUs as may be required by the Magna Carta of Women implementing rules and regulation and this joint memorandum circular duly endorsed by the GAD focal point system executive committee and with the assistance of the GAD focal point system PWT. So as a LCE ka, as a chairman, so doon git are imong responsibilities, especially in the formulation of the GAD plan and budget. As a GAD focal point system executive committee, napakahaba, kababo kita anda kong duties and functions. But through that, makita mo kung ay imong tanawo, no, through God focal point system, pinakauna-una, in the creation, kasi do yun o plan, do yun draw imo nga ginaubra nga plano. When we talk about the plan, karon mo makita kung ano ro services nga ikataon nimo sa tawo based on the current issues and concern. Do God plan and budget, kinaginbasa ko to ensure the God plan and budget at least 5% imo karong i-allocate, no? At least 5% to ensure the at least 5%, at least nga ron ay, kung mag 5% dapat taas-taasan mo pagid. Kung pwede yan, based on the issues and the yung priorities nga nagatuhaw. Like for example, kung makaroon abi nga situations, ay raton niya kababaihan, pero priority naton ay mga cervical cancer. What are cervical cancer? What are the services nga kinahanglan natong provide sa atong kababaihan? Nagkaroon na kami ng pre-pap smear, no? Pre-pap smear sa atong kababaihan. Agtuang kamo sa mong office, libre ron. Kasi kung sa private kita, gabayad kita at least 300 pesos, 200 to 300. So, do yun ng mga services kasi sambilog ron imong issues makaroon. So, ato nga GFPS nga ra, hayro, God plan and budget, do yun do operational plan with budget, ag ano ro plano nga imong ikatao nga serbisyo based on the current situation. Ano ro data nga nag-exist, do yun doon. Kung ako nung isummarize, do yun doon, ag-aprobahan nun it, aton nga GFPS. Suro yun. Pro technical working group, preskamon iyang ibahan. Kami ron nag-formulate it God plan and budget based sa discussion it atong mga executive committee. Ag pag-formulate namon, aton nga God plan and budget, gina-present ron sa executive committee. Kami ron nga mga ng PTWG ay gina-assess namon do current situations. Kami ron ay may focus group consultations like like last week may among 2 days God planning and budgeting. As kami at ito nga mga PTWG ko, kasi kami man rog assess, and we have to present it sa atong executive committee. So do yun, kung sumahon na kon, in short, do yun the rule, it aton nga ng PTWG. Yes. We go now to the formulating of LGU God plan and budget. Yes, as I said kaina, in consultation with the local functionaries and stakeholders, the LGU God focal point system shall set the God agenda or identify priority gender issues to be addressed by the LGU during the 3-year term of its leadership. Kinhangan naton root 3-year God agenda. Doon abiri imo nga focus ron for the next 3 years sa aton nga maglingkod nga ma-executive based on their 1 year. Diba na nga every term nanda is 3 years. So kita man sa LGU gina-oblige kita to develop itaya nga God agenda for 3 years. Agro yun ron ro aton nga ro trabaho as mandato sa aton nga Magna Carta of Women nga ano git kita dayang mag-formulate it God agenda. With sarana kita karon nga focus kita no, the God agenda or the priority gender issues, mandates and targets may be derived from the following. Pakita nato nun imaw sa aton nga mga policy laws. Di karang-karang libro, karon aton mag-guide nga mga policy nga kinahanglan naton. Like for example, makaroon abi mga situations like sa during the pandemya 2 years sa 92-62, di ba? Nagtaas ra aton nga mga bawsi cases. So, mapa nato niya nang that is gender issues. Tawan nato priority. So dapat pasok nato nun sa aton nga God agenda for the next 3 years sa bag-o nga rang lingkod it aton nga LCE. Oo, sections kasi ma-formulate naman kita it 3 years GAD agenda. Yan. So in the formulation of the GAD plan and budget and sa pag-ubramat aton GAD agenda, yan nun naka-emphasize result of gender analysis and or gender assessment using the 6 segregated data, information from the LGU GAD database, the ecological profile, the community-based monitoring system, or the local government performance management system. Then makita kita niyo, that is the basis. Karon kita kami gabuo basihan kasi puro ron imaw 6 segregated data and the current issues. So do yun na aton gitawan it emphasis kasi in the formulation of the LGU GAD plan and budget. Results of program and project evaluation in terms of benefits to target beneficiaries and review of findings from the audit of GAD funds and GAD-ER to surface remaining gender issues that have not been addressed in previous GAD plan and budget. So do yun amon nga ginatawaan it basis, no? Ginatanaw, gina-assess. Do yun in the formulation of every year GAD plan and budget. We have to identify appropriate PPAs to address priority gender issues that are included in the GAD plan and budget. Then, the GAD budget is prepared based on the estimated cost of functions translated from the demand commitments identified in the GAD plan. Then we have to fill out the GAD plan and budget and the GAD-ER forms. May pakita ko kinyo yung mga form. Yan, no, ginaobra naton. Karon naton ginas-translate. Daya nga GAD plan and budget, yaman nun sa atong guidelines Magna Carta. Doon atong ginasundan. We have the client focus, buting hanon, sa aton yung mga kliyente nga natawag naton services based on the priority issues and the organizational focus, kita nga mga program implementers. Then, may aton yung attributed projects, mga projects which address aton nga mga daya nga issues and concerns. So doon aton nga format. Okay? Aron doon atong format. Yes, aron. Kaya na ginhamba ko kinyo the costing and allocation of GAD budget at least 5%. Ngani sa kabilugan niya ron nga ira ng ginabaton it atong probinsya, barangay o munisipyo hay 5% kita karon hinakatutok, at least 5% nakatutok sa gender issues and concern nga mga PPAs. Yan, locations. Ngani mi aton git aron no pag-allocate it aton nya costing. Yes. Yan, mga attributed nga projects nga naka-address nga makabulig makataot serbisyo para sa aton nga mga kababaihan. So yun, mga attributed. So yun. Tatlo ron client focus, organizational focus, and attributed ng mga programs. Yeah. Ngani, dayang March, that's why nag-planning kami kulastik kasi before end of March, submit yun natin for approval sa DLG at sa DBM and sa Philippine Commission on Women. Sa aton nga GAD plan and budget. So, yan. Anang scoring kung gender responsive imaw. May scoring man doon based on the checklist of the harmonized gender and development guidelines. May mga checklist kita. Hindi mo na akong pag-isa-isahon kasi basta in the formulations of the GAD plan and budget ay mga checklist kita ron the involvement of men and women in the realization and prioritization at mga plan, programs, and activities. Ipakita ko kinyo mga ginobra mga initiative, GAD initiative of the province. Yan. Yan ang hamba na kung tiina, we have reconstitution of the Aklan Gender and Development Commissions. Nga na may executive order karong ginapasta sa aton nga executive, local chief executive. Then we have the Aklan GAD Code. May aton man karong nga craft nga GAD Code nga aton nun nga ginasundan. Then sa province, may aton kita nga Dalangpan Ikababayhan, the Comprehensive Center, which cater ron sa aton nga mga bawsi cases. Atong bawsi baga, rape, battered, wife din atong nga na violence against women and children. Atong nga Dalangpan Ikababayhan. Then for our CICL, ng aton sa mga kagakinhan, no, nga may aton man nga Aklan Youth Center. So may atong tangbagay para sa atong mga kagakinhan ang bagay sa aton nga kababainhan. So laki kita sa Aklan, may aton para sa CICL at sa aton nga bawsi. So yun, the Aklan Youth Center at the Comprehensive Center for Women. Then may aton nga GAD database. Karon naton makita ro mga statistics nga ginabuan naton at daya nga doon na katon nagatao kung ano ro mga priority nga PPAs naton nga PD i-implement sa aton GAD database. May kami aton nga mga tibahan, we are members of the Provincial GAD Pool of Trainers. Kami nga ron hay kung may training hay we are available kami nga dayang Provincial GAD Pool of Trainers. Na-train kami since 2019. Ang may amo ng EO kung sino kami nga mga members. So pwede ka makatap sa among opisina kung gusto mo mapatraining gender sensitivity, bawlos, ini nga training about sa aton nga rong pag-manage sa atong baw ng mga tools nga ron nga ginagamit naton sa atong na bawsi desk. Yeah, Aklan is the GAD Local Learning Hub dahil nga ni may aton nga Move Aklan, ang may aton nga Comprehensive Center for Women. Abo katon iya ro nagalakbay aral ga study tour, gusto nandahay pasayran kun ano ro aton nga mga services, no? Tatong Comprehensive Center, that's why Comprehensive Center is the one of the local learning hub agraton nga private sector nga male opposed violence against women. Doon aton nga Move Aklan. Nga ni may aton nga certificate kita ninyo atong marker. Aklan is one of the local learning hub. Yes, aron aton nga members it Move Aklan since 2007 pa hay nagaano dun sa daabo na dang mga members makaron male opposed violence against women. That is the Move Aklan. Mga advocacy. For the client focus naton nga mga activities para gatao kita gender sensitivity trainings sa atong mga women's desk, sa mga ibahay, sa mga lesto, Magna Carta Women Orientations, saron akita niyo ramon yung mga trainings. Yan, ato nga mga 1 billion rising mga activities, no? Advocacy. Yeah, last 1 billion rising ramo nga guest speaker ay si Ma'am Mimi, no? Si Ma'am Mimi mo ramon nga guest speaker. Yan, aton nga mga gagto kami sa Gaisano. Then gagto kami sa City Mall. Bisaot kami sa mga plaza para erase nato nga to eliminate na bawsi cases. Nagkaroon din kami ng mga school and barangay karaban. Oo. Then every Women's Month na March, katatapos lang ko amon nga Women's Day last March 15. Nagkaroon kami serbisyo para kay Wana, sa aton nga mga blood typing. Blood typing kasi nagtuhaw imong issues dahil sa aton nga national ID system. Hay aton nga ID sa likod nga ron hay rinyo nga blood type hay unknown. So that's why nagkaroon kami it blood typing para maibutang man sa dakon anong type blood. So yun, during Women's Month celebration, among Women's Day, o last March 15. Kaya kababo man aton yung mga advocacy, gatao man kami mga awards sa aton yung mga private sector, pero istansya gatang RIC gitawa na mo awards ron imaw ko 2019 sa aton mga women's group. Yan aton last naton nga 2019 nga aton nga ng Women's Forum na karon kita Women's Assembly tamon ka nga speaker ay si Vice President Lenny Obredo. O yun. And of course, atong 18-day campaign nga it starts sa November 26 up to December 14. 18-day campaign on end violence against women. Atong mga assessment. May amon niya katatapos na nga training, the Safe Spaces Act, ito yung bullying act naton no, nga niya isang bilog ron with the help of the Populations Office. Yes, nagkaroon kami training. So yun, Safe Spaces Act. Part mo sa aton 18-day campaign, amon nga mga assessment, iba among nga assessment at GFPS. Yan. Yan kami aron. Mas nasikip okay lang. Yan. Tapos nag-talk ako about gender-sensitive approach in the performance of barangay anti-drug abuse council. Invite ako at DILG. So aton yung mga nang pre nga ron nga drug nga barangays ay orient man namon nun sa about gender-sensitive approach. And aton nga mga 18-day campaign, no? Yellow, orange icon. Then, raton nga best practice, itaklan, hay raton nga ron nga part of the 18-day campaign is the governor's search for best barangay baudes. Abog itangani karon nga mga barangay baudes nga nag-participate. Yan. The last namon 2019 hay 97 barangays ro nag-participate sa atong 18-day campaign to end violence against women. Yan sila, no? Aton yung mga campaign ro nag-attend. Nakita niyo sa picture doon ato nga actual nga pag blood testing. May mga forum man kami illegal recruitment and trafficking. Kaibahan ron imaw sa aton nga mga priority. Kasi hagos ron na luko, mga illegal recruiter hay raton nga mga kababaihan. Pag magbilo ka 18 years old nga ginahamba ka nga ginapa-abroad, ay that is illegal recruitment. Kun wa ka ka-graduate at least high school kung elementary ka nga gina-recruit ka, that is illegal recruitment. Tandaan nyo ha, daywa. Daywa ron, pag magbilo ka, at 18 nga nagdapapanaw ka, illegal recruitment. Kung wa ka katapos at least high school nga gina-recruit ka, that is illegal recruitment. Yan. Ayan po raton yung mga MOVE Congress. Yes, among quarterly meeting. At kami kibahan ng Provincial Federation of Local Council of Women. Yun. Mga senior citizen na aton karong nga mga kibahan. Naila man doon gihapon kara sa mag-join. Kung mag-reactivate kami kara sa dayang after the election, si Ma'am Susit, member naton da at atong Provincial Council, Federation of Local Council of Women. Atong orientation sa aton nga mga desk research, no? Yan. Of course, aton nga mga municipal nga GAD Pukal, hay regularly ron meeting man kami, kasi ron mga munisipyo man, sa Akuro province, sa munisipyo man ron may andaman nga GAD Pukal, which andaman ron luga, formulate, so andamang GFPS, formulate man it municipal nga GAD plan and budget. So we have a regular meeting, quarterly meeting para i-update ko man kung ano ro mga current, kung ano ito nga natin meeting, hay gina feedback ko man doon kanta. That's why we have a regular meeting.
So sa mga organizational focused activities, quarterly meeting namin GPS. So yun. May amon man doon nga GAD planning and budgeting. Ron aton nga ron nga mga training, no? Para ron sa organization itself. Facilitator pulse training namon. And of course, atong pag-reproduce it mga IEC materials na ginapanukod namon, especially the Magna Carta of Women, which is the RA 9710. Abong nag-smart dahil Aklan is one of the local learning hub. Abong provinces. Last week, may nagbisita katon nga Negros ay Mindoro Oriental. Oo, Yasandaron nagbisita. May, of course, sa aton man nga GPS, may aton man nga mga challenges, no? Aton abi mga gadpukal ay pabaylo-baylo. So that's it. Kunting ano man doon, mga problema. Coordination with the GPS. Ako, as I said, aton makaroon nga best practice, the champions sa aton nga regional sa Excel for excellent governance, it aton nga governor search for best barangay Bautes ay talagang aton nga mga pamumuyo nga nagakatagang nga ron nga kung amatay kinasakit kadang mga rape naton nga cases sa barangay kani aton nga fully established 327 barangays nga barangay violence against women's desk. Agra aton karon nga focal person una sa barangay nga barangay council nga in charge sa atong nga nga desk ay kina-train ron namon. Karang man ron magbag-o man election or barangay another training. So far nagataas sa aton nga cases dahil nga may gina-reportan yun kita nga desk kagto ko nagabuwis out yun kato hay uwa makaron na voice out yun. So that's it. Rakon nga topic. Tama gid no? Thank you very much. Salamat inyo sa inyong pamati at I hope nga na inyo man nga napugot sa akon nga pagtao it information. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Lorna T. Kawaling, for the information. Naging taon nyo kamon. May we understand the Magna Carta of Women? I believe it's a very long law. However, due to the salient features of gintaw kato ni Engineer, gabay pa nga naintindihan naton one step at a time. And I know that later on, Ma'am Mimi, we will have question and answer or discussion, or we can personally approach our speaker for your questions. Thank you very much. And we have our buffet snack. So if you feel hungry, please feel free to approach our table. We have our traditional and native kakanins there and chocolate and coffee. So please approach lang ating nga table sa likod. All right. So Ma'am Mimi informed me that your questions, you may write your questions on a piece of paper, and then we're going to give that to our speaker so that later on she can answer that. So if you have questions, please write it on a piece of paper. Our facilitators can get you a piece of paper for you to write on. Thank you very much. So this Women's Month, we celebrate the gains and being proactive in preventing backsliding from what has achieved in gender equality and women's empowerment. It also serves as an opportune time to give Juanas, or the women, the power to lay down the blueprint for future leaders regarding essential gender issues that demand immediate attention and solution. Today, we are privileged to hear success stories and milestones of different women in different areas. We have from the academe, social services, extension service, and leadership and management. So allow me to introduce the speaker to give us the highlights of milestones of women in the academe. Our first speaker is an instructor under the College of Humanities and Social Sciences in the University of the Philippines, Mindanao. She took a Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Media Studies in the University of the Philippines, Visayas, and took her Master of Development Communication in the University of the Philippines Open University. Our speaker has been the Administrative Aide 6 of the Provincial Government of South Cotabato, has become an instructor in the UP Manila School of Health Sciences, has been the special teacher, science teacher in Philippine Science High School, assistant professor in Malayan Colleges, Mindanao, and at present, as I've said, an instructor in the University of the Philippines, Mindanao. Allow me to introduce and join me in welcoming our speaker, Professor Ina Marie S. Olivares Dizon. A round of applause, please. She will be joining us through the Zoom teleconference.
Good morning. Am I audible po?
Yes, ma'am, Ina, you are on. Good
Thank
morning,
you,
ma'am.
Juan, for the introduction. Maayong aga, maayong buntag in Bisaya. It's a rainy morning here in Davao City, and I would like to thank ATI Region 6, led by Ma'am Eden Bautista, for this opportunity to share about women leaders, specifically in the academe. I'm inspired by your stories as women leaders. When I see your potential, I want to have more of an impact as well and pay it forward. So my name is Ina. My name itself suggests that I have many roles to play, from being an ina or mother to being a wife, a faculty member, a daughter, a sister, a neighbor. So all of these things I need to juggle all at once every single day. And I know that marami po sa inyo yung nakaka-relate dito. When I was young, well, I'm still young, no? Pero mga 10 years back, I was very eager to contribute to change in our society. But I am not a scientist or a policymaker. I was a graduate of communication and media studies in UP Visayas, and I had high hopes for opportunities in my field. I had to grab these chances in the field of media and communication to bring about this change. So, when I was 20 years old, I applied as a TV reporter in ABS-CBN General Santos City. I have served SOC Sergeant or Region 12 in delivering news and information to the public. People saw me as empowered when they see me on television. I faced the camera and I delivered news spiels, specifically weather and police reports. What they didn't see were the things that were happening behind the camera. I had firsthand experience with how people in authority would look down on female reporters, putting malice in their intent to deliver reports. I even experienced plenty of quote-unquote pambabastos by interviewees like suspects in crimes and even male leaders in some organizations just because babae lang ako. I left the corporate media in exchange of a post in a government media as a female broadcast journalist. After 2 years of delivering government reports, there was no opportunity for me in that field to be tenured due to dominance in male leadership. There was no item for me to become a regular employee. An opportunity in the academe came after when UP Manila School of Health Sciences offered me a job to teach communication to health majors in South Cotabato. Here, I had experienced how is it to deal with community concerns as a woman leader. And ako po yung nagsilbi din bilang information intermediary ng academe tsaka ng tribal group na kung tawagin ay Blaan Community sa Tupi, South Cotabato. Being a female instructor in UP, I have conducted a research on Blaan teenaged women who get pregnant as early as 10 years old. They lack opportunities and chances to become employed and lead on their own. I left UP Manila when I got married, and I am now connected to another UP unit, that is UP Mindanao, to teach communication and media arts. UP Mindanao has offered plenty of opportunities to work or for me to work excellently in my field of expertise. This academe serves as my second home to teach and instruct a pool of our nation's next leaders, incorporating all the experiences and knowledge I have experienced as a woman in this field. Ladies and gentlemen, the Filipino women's experiences and the roles that they played in different historical conjunctures reflected the character of the times and determined the nature of their struggle. The women's movement in the Philippines has achieved numerous gains in terms of economic, political, and social equality. Pero a lot of things remain to be done, like inequality in political representation and economic opportunities, and aggression and violence brought by the specter of patriarchy that persists up to the present. Feminism and women's movement in the Philippines face new challenge at the dawn of the new government and the present conditions of the time. The challenge is to persevere and adapt to these changes in order to sustain women's struggle for freedom, equality, and social justice. In the academe, specifically in UP, we honor the role of women in the advancement of scientific research and their contributions to society. Stories of their very own women scientists, faculty, and staff from different institutes are featured, and they are providing insights into what it's like to be a woman in science. In the field of agriculture, I would say that here in the Philippines, there is not much of a difference between the number of men and women scientists, especially in the academe, but it is an achievement. However, when we talk about tenure track positions, it is still dominated by men. I believe that women should take up more space, especially in scientific fields, because women need more representation. And stereotypes about pagiging babae na nasa bahay, taking care of the family, it's not bad, but this limits their potential to lead and serve others. When I was young, I asked my mother bakit hindi niya pinursu yung kanyang college degree. And my mother, being in a culture na very patriarchal, she mentioned that it's because hindi kami nabigyan ng chance na i-pursue yung career namin kasi na-orient sila at that time, many years back, na pag babae ka, mag-aasawa ka at sa bahay ka. So wala masyadong opportunities. But now it's quite different because women have different roles to play. And some people sadly tend to have gender bias towards men or women, because they are taking up multiple roles apart from their career, right? Pag uwi mo ng bahay, marami kang mga roles to play. Yung iba, entrepreneur pa. So women, for me, are excellent multitaskers, which makes them efficient with the tasks they are handed. There is still a need for more women to take up more leadership roles, especially now where countries with great COVID-19 response are led by women. In the agricultural field, the struggle right now is not necessarily gender inequality, but to get more students, male or female, to pursue career in agriculture sciences and for scientists or professionals to stay in the country. Right now, in the pandemic, that is what we need and what should be prioritized. In the agricultural sector, kanina po, habang nakikita ko yung mga videos na piniplay sa mga successful stories ng Region 6 agriculturists ng mga women, it's really defined by complexity and disruption and change. But today's most successful enterprises, especially in the agricultural sector, are those that bring diverse perspectives. Hindi lang nakatuon sa isang directive, kundi may diverse perspectives and experiences to each new challenge. Along with the right thing to do, diversity and inclusion, they offer a strategic advantage, especially at the leadership level. So where does women leadership take place? Kailan ba siya nangyayari? Kapag ba employed ka na or kapag ba nabigyan ka na ng opportunity? Actually, it starts with a little girl. Imagine a young girl, perhaps a daughter or a niece or a girl down street. She is smart, she is ambitious, she believes in herself and her abilities. From a young age, she has already the desire to lead, to inspire others to greatness, to surpass expectations, to better the world. Pero as she grows up, two elements will affect her ability to lead. I call these two letter C's. First C is called confidence niya, and the second C is yung connection niya or yung opportunities. Throughout her life, she either will receive what she needs to build these two key components of leadership or she won't. There are many women who serve as models for how to lead and how to become leaders. Nasa mga corporations natin sila, governments, academic institutions, and other organizations to new heights. They've shown other women the possibilities and the power they hold in their hands. Yet, for all their achievements, these women represent too small a percentage of leaders overall. What experiences moved these women forward? And how can we empower more women to follow in their footsteps? In a women's leadership study, 6 out of 10 of the working women who responded said that they aspire to be a senior leader of a company or organization. And more than half aspire to serve on a board. Yet, meron silang hesitancy. More than half of the women agree that as women, they are more cautious in taking steps toward leadership roles. And 6 in 10 find it hard to see themselves as a leader. So the results reveal a critical disconnect. That women want to lead, but something is holding them back. The importance of the two C's, the confidence and the connections, is evident throughout the study, highlighting the key opportunities to influence a woman's perception on leadership. Na-encourage ba natin siya nung bata pa siya? Did she have a role model? Is she offered appropriate support and development opportunities? Ito yung mga factors that become significant milestones in the aspiring leader's life. If they are available to her, she is more likely to move further down the path to leadership. If they are not, her aspirations of becoming a leader are more likely to remain out of reach. So for my final encouragement, especially to the women to the working women, not just in the academe, but in every government and non-government organizations, or even in corporate settings, just say yes. Use any fear as motivation to be successful. Kasi minsan pag babae ka, iniisip mo yung fear, especially if the organization is dominated by male leaders. Gender, specifically women and men, they are not in competition with each other. They should complement each other. Kaya tayo ginawa ni Lord na equal sa isa't isa kasi we have to complement each other. So, as a woman, turn that fear into confidence. And to organizations, it's really important that we recognize women when they do great work. In the academe, especially in the UP culture, it's always imperative for the administration to reward women excellently in their success stories, in their contributions to the society. And we have to appreciate it. We always have to celebrate it. And we have to reward it. You have to own your career and don't wait for someone to tap you on the shoulder and present an opportunity for you. And there is a need to be, there needs to be more investment of resources, especially in areas of leadership and career development for women. So in recognition, there's actually value in that. So marami pang mga kailangang ayusin, marami pang kailangang i-improve, but we are glad that these things, yung sa Magna Carta natin, they are being put now into consideration, knowing that it's really not just a want, it's a need. It's a need to address these concerns. And the more we give value to women in our organization, the more we will see the difference na maganda yung growth ng isang organization pag diverse yung namamahala, pag diverse yung ating kind of leadership with equal opportunities for everyone. So that's all from my end. Once again, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ina. Thank you for your success story. And I believe our participants and our viewers from Facebook are inspired by your testimony. Gone are the days where the babae word is used to degrade women. Thank you for being an example, Ma'am Ina. So everyone, if you have questions, I believe Ma'am Ina can answer one question from the audience. And if not, I think you could just write your question on a piece of paper and later on we will discuss and going to answer your question. Are there any questions? All right. So I guess they're going to formulate your question and we're going to read that later. So our next speaker, thank you, Ma'am Ina. Our next speaker will talk about the highlights or the milestones of women in the social services and advocacy. To introduce our speaker, we will have our God focal person, Ma'am Emilia Vicencio.
Thank you again, John. Hello, okay pa kita? Pwede, busog na, nakakain na tanan. Yan, except for our colleagues and our other participants on Facebook Live. All right, so my task is to introduce the next presenter. She is Ate Myla to many, and I call her also Ate Myla, but she is Miss Myla Beatriz Audije Gregorio, and she is a Los Baños lactation peer counselor and educator. And she had her training in Lamaze childbirth education in Richmond, Virginia. She is presently doing her PhD in human nutrition, minor in environmental sciences, in the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, where she also completed her master's and Master's of Science in Biochemistry and Bachelor's degree in Engineering. Mrs. Gregorio is first and foremost a wife to Sharka Director and Academician and United Nations Food Systems Champion, Dr. Glenn Gregorio. Yung guest po natin when we had our inauguration of our new mansion of the farmers. She is also a mother and homeschool teacher to her 6 kids, all of whom were exclusively breastfed for at least 2 years each. She had practiced tandem breastfeeding of consecutive children, hand expressed her breast milk for her eldest daughter while working in biotech, UPLB, and doing her masteral degree. Parang ang hirap, no? A multitasker mother. Breastfeeding for almost 15 years, she also wet nursed and donated her breast milk for other infants and practiced cup feeding with her babies way before this became a recommended mode of giving breast milk. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our next presenter, Miss Myla Beatriz Audije Gregorio. Ma'am. She will be with us online.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ma'am Myla.
You can hear me?
Yes po.
Okay. Maayong adlaw. Yan lang yata ang Bisaya o Ilonggo ba yun na aking alam. So I'm very pleased to be with you today. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Nakikita nyo na po ang aking screen. Hello?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. For a minute lang, ha?
Okay po.
You're seeing my Latch logo, is that right?
Correct po, apo.
Okay. Again, magandang umaga, maayong adlaw. I'm very honored to be here. I'm Latch Incorporated ay isang samahang non-profit na nagbibigay ng kaalaman at iba pang tulong tungkol sa pagpapasuso. Ito po ay ginagawa ng mga voluntaryong nanay para sa mga kapwa nanay. Ang bawat letra sa pangalan namin, Latch, ay kumakatawan rin sa kung sino kami at ano ang aming ginagawa. L is for lactation or breastfeeding. A is attachment. T is training. C is for counseling. And H is for help. Ang headquarters po ng Latch ay nasa Metro Manila. And we have chapters in Davao and Cebu. At kami po yung Los Baños. I belong to Latch Los Baños, which was established in 2016. Ang aming pangalan, Latch po, ay sa Tagalog ay hakab. So, hindi ko po alam yan sa Ilonggo kung ano ang translation. But ito po ay tumutukoy sa maayos at matiwasay na pagdapat ng sanggol sa dibdib ng kanyang ina para sa epektibong pagpapasuso. Ang kagandahan po ng tamang paghakab sa pagpapasuso is beautifully depicted in this artwork na nakikita nyo. By our latcher artist, Ms. Gia Monserrat. Ang aming grupo po ay binubuo ng mga voluntaryong nanay. Mga nanay na may karanasan sa pagpapasuso at sumailalim din ng pagsasanay to be fully equipped in this breastfeeding work. But ano po ba talaga? Excuse me, ang kahalagahan ng breastfeeding, lalo na sa ating mga kababaihan, lalo na sa mga babaeng nasa workforce din, no? So in terms po ng nutrition and health, sabi ni Dr. Mian Silvestre, siya po ang founder ng Kalusugan ng Mag-ina Incorporated and consultant din po siya ng UNICEF. Sabi niya, breastfeeding is the most potent of public health interventions that can save lives. Noon po iniisip natin na ang pagpapasuso po ay it's just about food. Pero nito pong mga huling panahon, lalo na nitong panahon ng pandemic, ng COVID-19 pandemic, mas nakita po na ang isang halaga ng pagpapasuso ay yung immunity, protection po, panglaban. In fact, nakakalungkot na disempower ang maraming babae, napapaghiwalay po sila kapag sila'y nanganak sa halip na kasama ang nanay dahil sa maling practice na dulot ng takot sa COVID. Pero ang research po, ang science ay nagpakita na mas dapat palang pagsamahin ang nanay at baby dahil ang nanay mismo, through her breast milk, ang magpo-provide ng panglaban in the form of antibodies through the breast milk, no? At hindi lang po pagkain at proteksyon ang binibigay ng breastfeeding sa sa baby. Ito rin po ay nagbibigay ng kakaibang, alam nyo yung kampante si baby kapag siya ay kasama ng kanyang nanay, lalo na kung siya ay pinapasuso. And dati ang iniisip natin pag breastfeeding, ano lang to, it's about the baby. Pero ngayon po, pinapakita rin ng ebidensya na ito ay hindi nakapokus lang kay baby. This addresses the concerns, the health. This is actually empowering the women kapag sila nagpapasuso. In what way does it empower women? Unang-una po, nagkakaroon siya ng panlaban against breast cancer, na na-mention kanina dun sa ating Magna Carta. Ovarian cancer, isang malaking problema ng ating kalusugan, ang diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. So pag po nagpapasuso ang nanay ay lumalakas ang laban niya sa long term na mga problem na ito. And of course, the mental health of both the baby and the mother is also addressed. Mas maigi po ang mental health ng mag-ina. And this is, ano pang masasabi niyong empowering na wala kung maayudahan natin, matutulungan at masusuportahan ang pagpapasuso ng mga kababaihan. Although mahirap po ito initially, but I can attest to you na pag nagawa po ito ng isang babae kahit siya nagtatrabaho, ay sobra-sobra po ang kanyang fulfillment, ang kanyang galak. Okay? The hormones that go with breastfeeding are really connected to the joy. Yun pong mga hormones na tinatawag nating happy hormones. So yung joy na yun po, yung happiness na yun ay long term. And then secondly, in terms po ng economics, sabi po ni Kate Hansen, dating Vice President ng World Bank of Global Practices, breastfeeding may be the single best investment a country can make. Okay? At ito din po, sabi sa UNICEF, ang pagpapasuso po, it profoundly impacts the environment. Ang laki po ng problema natin sa environment, pero malaki po ang contribution ng breastfeeding para mabawasan ang impact ng mga bagay-bagay na hindi mabuti sa environment. For one, ang breastfeeding po, wala yung mga waste, wala yung kailangang mga preparation. Diretso lang po, ang kailangan lang ay pakainin at suportahan ng maayos ang mga ina. Ngayon po ay pupunta naman tayo sa kung ano po ang aming ginagawa to promote, protect, and support breastfeeding. Ang pangunahing gawain ng LACH ay magturo. We educate by conducting regular breastfeeding preparation classes, kagaya po ng nakikita niyo dyan sa aming breastfeeding circle with moms. Ang pangunahing target, as you would expect, ay mga buntis na nanay who are already anticipating their breastfeeding journey. We want women to be equipped with updated science and evidence-based know-how para po maiwasan o maging handa sa anumang breastfeeding challenges. But hindi po namin iniiwan ang mga tatay at ang mga pamilya. Sila po kasi ang pangunahing support persons and would play a huge role sa pag-i-initiate, pagsisimula at pagpapatuloy ng breastfeeding ng isang babae. This slide shows that our moms are accompanied by their respective husbands, partners, as we encourage them to come together. And dun po sa gitna, yung isang nanay, nanganak na, may konting problema o matend ng klase, hindi available si tatay, so ang lola po ang supportang kasama niya. And beyond this, we also do outreach education programs kung saan kami maanyayahan. Because we believe kasi na it takes a village to raise a child po. So, ibig sabihin din, it takes a village to breastfeed a child. So pag po may opportunity, kagaya ng binigay niyong opportunity sa akin ngayon, kami po ay nakikipagkwentuhan, nakikipag-usap sa lahat ng bahagi ng village na ito na support ng isang nanay sa kanyang pagpapasuso. Dito po, kausap namin ang mga doktor at medical students. Ito po ay sa De La Salle State University Medical College sa Dasmariñas, Cavite. Ang mga doktor po at ang mga susunod na mga doktor ang napakalakas na impluwensya sa ating bayan kung ano po ang kalagayan ng ating breastfeeding ay maititrace back po natin sa kanila. So mahalaga po na nakakapag-usap kaming mga breastfeeding counselors, educators, at naibo-voice out din po namin sa kanila kung ano po ang tinig ng mga nanay na nare-represent namin pagkausap namin sila. Okay, ito naman po, nakakausap din po namin ang mga estudyante na obviously itong mga young people na to, ang mga susunod ng mga nanay. So maaga pa lang ay dapat na ipiprepare na sila, alam na nila na ang breastfeeding is the way to go sa pagpapalaki at pagpapakain ng ating mga sanggol. Kasama din po dito sa larawan na to ang ilang mga faculty, ang mga teacher, at saka may mga invited din silang mga women in their community. So ito naman po, napaka-importante, isang seminar po na inarrange ng Human Resources Office of the East-West SEED in Bulacan para sa kanilang sariling mga employees. Gusto kong i-emphasize na breastfeeding is actually possible in the workplace and should be supported by the employer. This would result to a healthy and very productive workforce, which of course could translate to economic gains. No, yan po ay kung susuportahan lang natin at susunod tayo dun sa mga provisions ng Expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act na specific po para sa mga workplace, no? Nagkaroon na rin po ako ng opportunity na maanyayahan sa isang Sunday school, sa isang Christian church sa Los Baños, Laguna. Pinapakita namin na ang mandato po na gawin ang pagpapasuso ay galing sa orihinal na plano ng Panginoon, ng ating Creator, para sa mga baby at para sa mga sanggol. Dito naman po, gusto kong ipaabot sa inyo na isang mahalagang gawain namin ay magturo po sa mga LGU. Okay? Kung saan kausap namin ang mga barangay nutrition scholars at saka ang mga barangay health workers. Kumbaga, tinuturuan po namin yung mga nagtuturo sa grassroots, no? At ginaguide po natin yung mga guide ng ating mga nanay. Ito po yung isang para sa akin ay napaka-exciting na na-accomplish namin. Last November lang po ito. Nagkaroon po ang DepEd, I think this is a regular activity, annual activity ng DepEd. Meron silang book reading caravan and naanyayahan po ang inyong lingkod na magbasa ng isang libro para sa mga bata to be broadcast virtually po, ano? So ang libro po, kung nakikita nyo, ay may title na Yakap, Gigil Lambing, isang publication ng Lives din. At nung mabasa po ito po'y kwento ng isang mag-anak na nagpapasuso at nag-i-enjoy at natututo sa kanilang journey ng breastfeeding. Sa first day po ay nagkaroon na ng 1,000 views. So nare-reach po natin yung mga batang nasa elementarya. So nagkakaroon na po sila ng idea na ang pagpapasuso pala ng nanay sa kanyang dibdib ang tamang paraan, ang best na paraan para in-nurture ang mga bata. Okay? Kasama din po dyan ang mga nanay, mga estudyanteng elementarya at mga nanay at pamilya nila. Ito po, pag po nasa rural community, ako po'y masayang-masaya. Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi ay alam nating lahat na ang mga pamilya po sa rural communities ang pinaka-vulnerable. And so we need to protect them from the dangers of being lured to use formula milk by way of advertisements at saka maling mga advice ng ilang mga health workers. O minsan ay ang mga advice ng mga nauna sa kanila na hindi nakapagpasuso. Ano po ba yung risk? Actually, marami po sa mga rural women, marami pa rin naman na nagpapasuso. Pero pag po sila ay nabigyan ng sample na libre ng gatas ng baka, formulated milk, o kaya po pag panahon ng kalamidad at nagkaroon ng mga ayuda at nilagyan yun po ng isang kahon ng formula milk, maiengganyo po silang gamitin yan, lalo na kung nakita nila sa advertisement na ang kanilang hinahangaang artista o celebrity ay nag-i-endorse noon. Ito po ay labag sa milk code. Hindi po basta dapat nalalagyan agad ng mga ayudang formula milk ang mga tulong na ipinapaabot sa ating mga kababayan. Pero po pag nangyari yon, tatry niya yon, tapos ang mangyayari minsan yung baby aayaw sa suso ng nanay kasi pag sumususo sa bote si baby, tamad-tamad lang po ang baby. Hindi niya kailangang mag-work. Okay? And then, pag naubos na po yung free na formula milk, pag binalik niya, mapapansin niya humina or parang nawala na yung kanyang gata. So, mapu-force po silang family na bumili ng formula milk na wala sa kanilang budget. And what they're gonna do is to stretch it, idadilute po nila, papalabnawin po ang timpla. Pag gano'n na nangyari, syempre po, magiging malnourished po ang mga bata. Pwedeng tuloy-tuloy ito na magkasakit at pinakamalungkot po ay pwedeng mamatay ang ating mga anak. Okay, so ayaw po nating mangyari yun. Yun po ang malungkot na reality. And also po ang isang problem sa isang bayan na kagaya ng Pilipinas, ang ating pong hygiene and sanitation ay medyo mababa. Kailangan pong malinis ang pagpapasuso sa bote at pag po hindi ito nasunod, nagkakaroon po tayo ng problema sa diarrhea. Naalala niyo po nung last year, nung bumagyo sa Leyte, tumaas po ang diarrhea rate dahil po sa ganitong pangyayari. Okay, So yung pong kinuwento ko kanina ay kung saan kami umaabot sa pagtuturo or education program namin. But gusto kong sabihin ngayon na kasing halaga ng pagtuturo, yung pong pagbibigay ng gabay at payo sa mga pamilya, especially kung meron na silang hamon na kinakaharap. For example po, ang hina ng gatas ko, masakit, may sugat yung suso ko. So, ang tendency po nila ay huminto na at mag-formula, okay? So, importante po yung counseling. Ito po isang proseso na nangangailangan ng mahaba-habang upuan, pasensya, oras po ang inaabot, minsan ay maraming araw, no? At tayo po as a community, as a people, hindi pa po tayo sanay dito. But marami pong mga families na talagang gustong ipaglaban ang kanilang breastfeeding, go through this po. And kami pong mga volunteers ay gumagawa nito. Actually, ginagawa namin ito ng libre, no? Hello, you can hear me po? Ayan, so naipakita ko na po yung aming primary work na ginagawa. Ngayon po ay pupunta naman ako sa kung ano ang ginagawa nitong panahon ng pandemya. Anong ginagawa namin pag may mga emergency po, kasama na rin ang challenges at accomplishments namin. Ang latch po ay bahagi ng Nanay Bayanihan kung inyong narinig na. Ito ay pagsasama or convergence of mother support groups, breastfeeding support groups po ng mga nanay. Kung narinig niyo po ang infant young child feeding in emergencies, ito po yun. Nagsimula po ito ng Typhoon Yolanda. Naalala niyo po yon, kung saan ang mga support groups na to ay nagpadala ng mga donor breast milk po para yung problemang na-mention ko na kanina ay maiwasan. Ginawa rin po namin na ang mga lola ay i-relactate. Makapagpasuso po yung mga lola sa kanilang mga apo, especially yung mga namatay po ang mga nanay ng mga sanggol. So that is very possible po. What can be more empowering than that po? Na ang isang lola ay magpasuso ng kanyang apo dahil sa emergency. Okay? And then, nung panahon po ng Taal Volcano, nagsama-sama rin po ulit ang Nanay Bayanihan at tuwing merong mga bagyo, kagaya nung nakaraang taon. And then, hindi namin akalain na yung Taal Volcano po pala na pag-aalburuto ay preparation para sa amin sa Los Baños para dito sa napakahabang pandemya ng COVID-19. And as with all other disasters po, there is a flood of donations of formula milk. Marami pong hindi nakakaintindi ng milk code kahit po si LGU. So ang ginawa po namin, okay, anyway, karamihan po kasi sa humihingi at binibigyan ng formula milk ay hindi talaga nangangailangan. So gusto kong i-mention na ang grow-up milk, ang follow-on milk po ay hindi kailangan pagka ang bata ay 1 taon na pataas. Ang kailangan lang po natin ay suportahan ng breastfeeding at kasunod po nyon, itong nakikita nyong mga gulay. So actually magka-partner po tayo, yung nasa breastfeeding advocacy at nasa agriculture. So noon pong panahon ng mga unang buwan actually ng COVID-19, nagkakagulo po yan kahit sa Facebook, bakit nagbibigay ng formula milk, bakit hindi. So ang ginawa po namin tugon sa sitwasyon at bilang paninindigan sa Milk Code, nabuo po noong Abril 2020 sa pangunguna namin, Los Baños, ang Los Baños Mother Infant Young Child Feeding Action Team. Dito po ay namahagi kami ng napakarami libo-libong nutrition care pack nakalagay po sa katsabag na tinatawag naming ambag dahil ayaw po namin ng maraming basura kapag nagbibigay ng ayuda. At siguro sa ngayon, 10 beses na po kaming namigay nito. Umabot na sa mga 10 toneladang local, fresh, colorful and nutritious fruits and vegetables po ang nilalagay namin sa mga ambag. At kasama po dito, kung nakikita nyo dyan, meron pong lamang babasahin, pagkain para sa utak. Naabot po namin ang napakaraming pamilya sa lahat ng 14 na barangay sa Los Baños, yung mga pamilyang may buntis, nagpapasuso, at may mga batang 5 years old at pababa. Ito po yung mga nanay na tinatawag natin or mga bata at nanay na pasok sa first 1,000 days. Alam niyo po yan. At ito po ay pinagpapatuloy namin as donations are available. Para naman po sa mga nangangailangan talaga ng breast milk sa panahon din ng COVID-19 ay lalong umigting ang aming donor human milk sharing. Ang donor human milk sharing po ay isang pansamantalang tulong na ang layunin ay maitawid ang mga pamilya mula sa kanilang present infant feeding practice tungo sa exclusive breastfeeding that is recommended by the World Health Organization. From birth to 6 months, dapat po ay breast milk lang, walang anything, walang tubig, walang tsaa, walang wala pong formula milk, at patuloy na pagpapasuso kasabay ang pagbibigay ng healthful food hanggang at least 2 taon. Kasama po sa naipamigay naming donor breast milk ang halos 20,000 ml na agara namin ipinadala being one of the first responders sa call ng UPPGH Human Milk Bank for Help noong nakaraang Mayo. Kung nabalitaan po ninyo, nasalanta po sila ng sunog. Yun mismo ang kanilang NICU. So nakatulong po tayo ng magpadala ng donor breast milk para sa 35 na babies noong panahon na yon. Gusto ko pong i-emphasize dito na kahit sinong humihingi o tumatanggap ng tulong na donor breast milk sa amin, ay sinisigurado namin na mabigyan ng counseling upang matulungan ang sanggol kahit nakambal pa yan, may sakit, maliit, na madala or maibalik po sa suso ng kanilang ina. Ito po ay dahil ang pagpapasuso ang tama at tanging sustainable na tulong, may crisis man o wala. Dahil po sa ongoing pandemic, kasalukuyang kalagayang pangkalusugan sa ating bansa, mataas po ang malnutrition rate. At gayon din ang climate change po, nararamdaman nyo na ang init ulit, no? Naririto po ang pangangailangan na lalong maging handa tayong lahat. At meron po akong balita mamaya na may bago kaming proyekto para mapalawak at maitaas pa ang antas ng tulong na may aabot sa mga pamilyang may sanggol na nangangailangan. Before I proceed to that good news po, gusto kong i-mention na simula po sa pandemic, kami po ay agad-agaran nag-shift sa virtual po na klase. Kami yata ang una na nakapaggagawa ng klase among the breastfeeding support groups, no? And as with everyone, kagaya nyo po, using virtual platforms ay naging blessing pa rin in the sense na mas marami po kaming na-reach ng mga tao sa labas ng Laguna, kahit po sa labas ng bansa. Nag-shift din po kami sa counseling na virtual. Nakikita nyo po dito sa larawan ang isang indigent na mother and baby kasama ang kanyang BNS. Ang struggle po, as you would know, ay yung connection, no? So, tsaka dahil kahahanap ng signal po, minsan ay inaabot kami ng ilang araw bago finally matuloy ang counseling. And sa akin naman po, nakakatawa na 3 floor po yung tinitirhan naming bahay po. Nag-aakyat manaog po ako, tumatakbo para lang mahabol yung signal at makakommunicate ng maliwanag dito sa aming counseling. Ito po isang halimbawa pa rin ng counseling pag po talagang kinakailangan at mababa naman ang COVID cases. Face-to-face counseling din kami, but of course observing all the necessary health and safety protocols po, no? Okay, isang struggle po namin nung simula ng pandemya, yung small number po na nakita nyo sa amin kung ilan kami kanina, actually 9 po kami sa ngayon, lalo pong lumiit nung nagkaroon ng pandemya. Naiintindihan po natin na yung distance, tsaka iba't iba pang mga concern, no? But this very challenge paved the way for us to be fully open to partnerships po at maipagpatuloy namin ang aming advocacy. At magawa pa rin ang gusto naming pagtulong at pag-empower sa mga kababaihan. So nabuo po, yung sinabi ko kanina, ang Los Baños Mother Infant Child Feeding Action Team. Nakasama namin ang mga dating kaibigan, kakilala, at nagkaroon kami ng bagong kaibigan in the form of, ito pong 2 grupo sa huli, mga riders po sila ng motorcycle. Sila po yung nag-aabot ng aming mga ambag, nutrition care packs doon po sa mga nanay. So in that sense, sila po ang aming mga frontliners. Nagkaroon po rin kami ng maraming kaibigan, mga nagdo-donate ng pera ng kanilang mga sariling harvest. Kahit po si Dr. Howard Buwis, nakikita niyo po dyan sa ilalim, siya po ay isang World Food Prize Laureate, ay tumulong din po sa amin. So kahit wala po kaming pera, ay yumaman kami dahil sa tulong ng maraming iba't ibang individuals at saka organization. And for this, sobra-sobrang po ang aming pasasalamat. And I cannot miss this one. We are very grateful to many families, mga nanay, tatay na nagpapadala, nagpapapick up po ng kanilang donasyon na breast milk. In fact, I want to mention here na yun pong anak ni Ma'am Eden, si IS po at ang kanyang may bahay ay nagdo-donate din po ng kanilang breast milk. Okay? And ito po yung good news na mini-mention po kanina. We were compelled to do something na ang tagal-tagal na po namin hinihintay, naririnig namin na gustong gawin ng ganitong LGU, ng ganitong gobyerno po, pero hindi natutuloy ang pagpapasteurize po ng human milk at pag-set up ng human milk bank po. Ito po ay napakahalaga para lalong maging ready po tayo sa anumang eventuality, anumang mangyaring disaster. No? Meron tayong store na marami, enough, at pasteurized na donor breast milk. So makikita niyo po sa larawan at using my background, galing nga po kasi ako sa biotech, nag-try po kami ng batch pasteurization, small volume lang po at nakita namin kaya. So naisip namin na bakit pa tayo magpapakahirap mag-set up ng human milk bank when the laboratories and the experts are right here in UPLB. Nasa loob po kasi kami ng UPLB. Okay? So, nilakasan po namin ang aming loob, nagdasal kasi hindi po usually ganito ang pagsiset up ng Human Milk Bank. Lumapit kami sa aming Congresswoman Ruth Fernandez and she's just too happy to endorse us to our provincial government. At ito po, nakipag-usap din kami sa aming beloved Chancellor, UPLB Chancellor Don Camacho. Sabi namin, gusto naming sumama sa inyong future-proofing of UPLB. And from here po, nabuo ang aming Project Breastfeeding as Response to Emergencies, made accessible through science and technology. So dito po ay magtatayo kami ng kauna-unahang community-engaged human milk bank in Laguna, right inside UPLB. Kauna-unahan po siyang human milk bank na nasa labas ng isang ospital. Okay, last December po, napirmahan na po ang Memorandum of Agreement between among LACH, PGL, and UPLB. And finally, meron po kami isa pang bagong project, Pamana Feeding Project with Circa and Rotary Club. Dito po ay nagpapakain kami ng masusustansyang pagkain kasama ang mga local produce na fresh, makukulay at masusustansya. Nilalagay po namin yan sa reusable na mga container dahil naalala nyo, gusto nating pangalagaan ng kapaligiran kagaya ng kung paano ang pagpapasuso ay nag-aalaga din sa ating kapaligiran. Okay? At kagaya po nung nauna naming proyekto, nung simula ng pandemic, nilalagay po namin to sa reusable bag para makabawas sa basura at siksik pa rin po sa impormasyon para sa kanilang kalusugan in the form of may mga Nutri-Comics po tungkol sa complementary feeding at pagpapasusto at meron din po kasamang recipe book para makapagluto sila ng mga simple mula sa ating mga lokal na mga produce. Okay, with that po, I want to close with these last few slides. We talk of women empowerment. But gusto kong sabihin na ang pagpapalakas po, pagbibigay ng kalakasan at kapangyarihan sa women should be in the context of how they are made. Sino sila at paano sila dinesign. Okay? Gusto kong i-mention na ang mga babae ay may profound influence. Kagaya ko po, ako ay isang simpleng babae, simpleng may bahay at nanay. But marami po kaming nai-impluwensyahang nanay na yung galak namin sa kung anong pinagdaanan namin bilang nanay at bilang breastfeeding advocate ay na ipapadanas din namin sa iba. And we are co-creators with God. Napaka-importante pong calling sa mga babae na nagkakaroon ng asawa at anak. We are privileged na magkaroon ng baby sa ating sinapupunan at tayo rin ang magpapalaki at mag-nourish sa kanila initially through breastfeeding. Okay? And gusto kong sabihin that we are created and intelligently designed for the tasks that we are asked to do by our Creator and God. Ang breastfeeding po ay nauuna sa first food systems na alam kong alam nyo na. Hindi po agad ito pagkain ng gulay at prutas. Dapat nauna muna ang breastfeeding. And bahagi po ng plano ng Diyos para sa humanity na ma-nurture ang kalusugan ng mga nanay at baby. Hindi lang po ito about baby, no? At ng lahat po ng tao in general. At ang benepisyo ng breastfeeding, hindi lang po habang sila'y sanggol. This determines the long-term health po ng bawat isa. And then, it is an empowering and fulfilling task for which women are called and empowered to do. Okay? Binigyan tayo ng suso. At ang mga research po ngayon ay nagpapakita na really it's more than pagbibigay ng pagkain. So, mental health, and the joy po ng mga babae at kahit ng kanilang mga anak ay malaking factor ay determined by breastfeeding. I want to close with this verse na ginagamit po namin sa aming mga klase. I praise you, you is God, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it well. Marami pong mga babae ang nagsasabi na hindi nila kayang magpasuso. Sila ay nagtatrabaho, flat-chested sila, okay? Maliit ang kanilang suso. O kaya may magsasabi na hindi ko na kaya magpasuso, tumigil na ako sa pagpapasuso ng ilang linggo, ilang buwan, wala nang gatas. But with proper education and counseling po, kaya palang gawin, kaya rin pagsabayin ang pagpapasuso, pagpapalaki ng mga anak, ng maayos, using complementary feeding din po. At kaya din itong gawin habang kayo ay employed o nasa inyong mga workplaces. So yun po ang empowering na gusto kong makita ng bawat isa. Pwede nating ikwento sa mga next generation. At ito po ay napakalaking solusyon sa mga problema kinakaharap natin as a nation and actually globally. So in behalf of Latch Los Baños, marami pong salamat for this opportunity and God bless us all. Thank you.
Maida, thank you for the very profound sharing of your experiences, your struggles, and your successes in Latch Los Baños. And doon ko lang naalala, no, yung women are designed to have mammary glands. No?
Yes.
And kaya po tayo ay binigyan ng mammary glands. Yun po yung isang gift natin mula sa Diyos. Kaya tayo may ability na magpasuso. So thank you so much sa experience ng Latch Los Baños and ako, Latch Antique, Latch Capis.
I will be happy to have that. Pag-pray natin.
Opo. Salamat po ng marami. So, nanggaling tayo, no? From our journey, from the first sharing of the features of the Magna Carta of Women, nagpunta tayo doon sa, nagagugon ako. Adto kita ito sa academe nga experienced by one journalist nga naging teacher and share mga struggles mga successes manana, not just as a professional but also as a person, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, as a wife. And then napakinggan natin ang sharing ng isang peer counselor and educator. Yes, oo. Medyo nag-late man kita nag-snacks, no? So, okay lang ba nga i-continue na to? Ayos lang? We need to hear the sharing of two more presenters and resource persons. And of course, na-remind namon, no, basi kung may mga questions na nasugat yun kamo, so that it would be aired and be addressed by our previous resource persons. May mga naano kita una, natipon ng mga questions, concerns. Yes, sir? Wow, parang nobelo naman ito. Yes. This question is for the presentation of Ina Marie Dizon. Women are being protected and empowered by the Magna Carta of Women and other existing laws and policies. The government, organizations, and private sectors have various initiatives, projects, and activities as implementing mechanisms in relation to women's welfare and development and empowerment. However, despite of these intended efforts and advocacies, still there are some issues that question the women's identity and integrity in handling significant roles and responsibilities in the society. As an empowered and successful woman, ano po ang masasabi nyo sa statement na mahinang leader ang babae? Lalo na at babae rin ang nagsabi nito. Parang kilala ko to.
Okay, so thank you po for that question. Yeah, when we trace back our history kasi to the root cause of that stereotype, in the social sciences, we call it a stereotype or gender stereotype. Nung mga panahon kasi na yon, masyadong matagal na, hindi pa empowered or wala pang women empowerment, ang mga babae ay designed to really stay at home, keep quiet. When you say keep quiet, hindi naman yung literal na keep quiet, but they are not really part of the parliamentary or debates, at hindi rin sila pwedeng mag-hold ng any government position. At nakita din natin na sa ating society before, lalo na nung panahon ng mga Kastila, ang mga dato, no, o yung mga leaders ng ating community ay male. Wala pong babae at that time. So maraming panahon, it took us a century, actually centuries na prove yung tinatawag na male dominance sa society. So in that particular scenario, na inculcate po yung kultura na pagka babae ka ay wala kang karapatan na magkaroon ng position, you cannot voice out your opinion, you are just there to listen, no, and absorb every instruction ng isang male na leader. So yun po ay may historical context. Kaya po until now, sadly, hindi pa kasi talaga totally na embody sa Philippines and some Asian countries, no, yung tinatawag nating equality. Yung gano'n na thinking na pag sinabi mo na babae ka at mahina ka, doon yun ang galing sa mga roots na yun. Kasi when you are not allowed to speak up, when you are not allowed to voice out your concerns, kapag you resume a public post, for example, na mas mataas kaysa sa isang lalaki, halimbawa, hindi yun pwede. Dapat nasa ano ka lang, nasa ganong estado ka lang. So yung ganong kultura ay na-inculcate, kaya siya kinonsider as stereotype. So marami ang mga challenges na ganito because it's already perspective. Perspective na kasi siya ng tao. At minsan, nagsisimula sa very basic unit ng community natin na pagkababae ka, mahina ka. So it started with your family upbringing. It started with the community that you are in. It started in your, of course, some schools, no, sadly, some schools, they are still close to that option. And I think, isa to sa mga premise, yung babae ka, mahina ka na leader, isa to sa mga premise kung bakit na i-stop yung tinatawag nating pag-value sa diversity, lalo na sa ating mga organizations, because these stereotypes can actually kill opportunities. Nililimitahan natin yung movement, no, nung isang tao. Hindi natin sila binibigyan ng enough opportunities. sabi nga natin kanina, I also believe in the biblical principle of genders na hindi walang inequality dun sa ginawa ng Panginoon eh. Lahat tayo ay equal eh. Regardless of your role, no? Lahat ay equal. Pareho tayong mahal ng Panginoon. Pareho dapat na equal din yung opportunity sa atin. So walang babae na mahina. Pero maraming mga babae ang nalilimitahan yung mga opportunities sa kanila. Kaya sila natatag bilang mahina. Hindi po dapat ganon yung way natin of giving value to women. Again, this is not a competition. Everything should be complementary. Imagine an organization that is filled with complementary individuals yung hindi nagko-compete sa isa't isa. 'Di ba? Mas madaming ideas and innovations yung ating maipabahagi, 'di ba, sa isa't isa. And dito rin bilang isang babae sa academe, yung isa sa mga advocacy namin when it comes to organization is ito po yung tinatawag na abundance mentality. Pag sinabi mong abundance mentality, you think, regardless of your gender, that there is enough room for everybody. There is enough opportunity for everybody. So, dito maiiwasan yung crab mentality that exists among gender. Dito din maiiwasan yung professional jealousy na very rampant sa isang organization or bullying among gender stereotypes na pagbabae ka until dyan ka lang. So, yung abundance mentality na thinking, sana natin, dito na i-enhance na kung may opportunity sa kanya, you have to support her. Kung may ibibigay na leadership role sa kanya, you have to support her. Kasi meron ka rin. Meron ding para sa'yo. So there's enough room for everybody. Yung mga tao na nag-iisip that ang babae ay mahina, there's this scarcity mentality na para sa kanila it's just not fair. So dapat sa akin lang lahat ng opportunity. Dapat hindi sa kanya. Yun. So hindi dapat ganoon. Hindi dapat ganoon yung thinking. Kasi hindi lang organization yung maapektuhan sa ganitong uri ng mentality. Ikaw mismo as an individual. Yung hindi mo kayang maging happy para sa iba, para sa success ng iba. So yeah, it's not just about gender. It's actually for all types of people. Not just women and men, but also lesbians, transgenders, members of the LGBTQ. Lahat po yun. So that's our advocacy and I hope that this sheds light to that concern.
Thank you, Ms. Ina. I think that should have a parang tayo magkaroon ng shift, no? Ng paradigm shift, from that scarcity mentality into abundance mentality. So it's again, yung matter of values, that we inculcate our families and our children. So thank you so much for that answer, ma'am. Po? Reaction? Doc Joanna? Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your insights, and for the wisdom that you have shared to the group. I would like to comment on. Okay. I would like to comment on the idea of being weak because there are several factors that women could be weak or men could be weak or whatever gender could be weak, could be physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So there are women who are physically weak but are mentally strong, or could be we are physically weak because we are ill or we have this disease, inborn or developed diseases. So siguro there's nothing wrong of accepting our weakness at some point because not all of us can be strong at all times or not all of us are born strong. There are people who are born weak. There are people who are born strong, and it's a matter of recognizing, knowing, determining or identifying saan tayo malakas or saan tayo mahina. And then, by knowing what are our strengths and our weaknesses, there we can evolve and do something. Kung mahina tayo sa isang bagay at malakas tayo sa isang bagay, doon tayo magpo-focus kung saan tayo malakas and we can make the best out of it. And eventually use our weakness on things that we can still be productive despite that weakness. So, may lalaking mahina physically, may babaeng mas malakas sa lalaki, di ba? So, ganun lang talaga yung mundo. There, like equality in the sense na we can be weak and we can be strong at some point, at some factors, and what matters most is we can make the best out of those strengths and weaknesses. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Doc. Dr. Guarin from Aklan State University. Yan. So, totoo yun, no? There are times that human as we are vulnerable. We have weaknesses, we have strengths, and we are designed in order to excel, no? So, let's improve one day at a time, one weakness at a time, and invest in our strengths. Tama po, Ma'am Ina?
Yes po, and there are no difficult people. They're only different, no? Wala namang mahirap. It's just we are different and we are special in our own ways. No? Kaya we have to complement each other talaga.
Yes, unique ang bawat isa. Yun po. Thank you so much for that wonderful question. Ayan. So any more? Pwede na tayo mag-proceed? Meron pa? Question? Not just for Ma'am Ina, pwede rin doon kay Ma'am Myla. Okay na? Uy, nag-reserve sila. Thank you, Ma'am Ina. Thank you for the wisdom. So, ang gusto ng lahat, mag-proceed na tayo. No? Although nire-ready naman ang ating lunch, nakikita ko at at this point. So, sabi natin lahat, let's proceed. Okay. Yes, parang mahina. Yan, dyan pa pala kayo. Sige, let's proceed. We will now go to the next presenter. Our presenter is near to the heart of everybody in ATI, RTC6. No? She's been an agri-technician, no? For several years under DARFO 6 and had been training specialist 2, naging training specialist 3, at naging assistant center director of ATI RTC 6. Kaya lang, nag-retire na siya. No? Iniwan niya kami. Mama, iniwan mo kami. No, I never. Anyway, there will be at some point na talagang we will move forward in our lives. May time para asikasuhin ang ibang aspeto naman na pagkatapos ng professional journey. No? She is a mother of 5 wonderful children. All are professionals. No? 4 na babae, 1 lalaki. After 4 births. No? Kasi meron siyang kambal. Her eldest is a graduate of food technology and chem technology. Chemtech. From the University of the Philippines and lives in Canada with her family. The second one, Denden, is a graduate of Information System from West Visayas State University and now presently involved as a professional in Bangkok. The third one, yung solong anak na lalaki, is a graduate of Accounting Management from St. Anthony's College. And ang kambal na ito is a graduate of BS. One of them is a graduate of BS in Agriculture from the Central Philippine University, and currently taking his master's in agronomic meteorology. Yon. Parang first time ko narinig tong course na to. Agromet. At UP Los Baños. And we call her Tel. The other one, the other half, is Lala, and graduate of Information System at the West Visayan State University also. And she's currently working in a BPO company in Makati. Bakit ko sinaysay yung mga anak, no? Because as a woman, as a mother, as a professional, and now retired professional, she continues to become an advocate of education and training, being an extension service consultant in various organizations in Antique. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you and introduce our next presenter, none other than Ma'am Alma C. Guerrero. Ma'am A.
Thank you, Mimi. Hello, everyone. Kasi nagutom na. Kalong-ulong man. Kasabat man ito. Makita ang sabat kay nag-makita. Ikwaon tanay. Okay, so Doc Eden, thank you for the invitation. Hello. Ay, harap pa sila. Hi! Yeah, tatak ATI, di ba? Okay, so thank you, Mi, for that generous introduction. Para kami mga ATI kasi, pag naumpisa kami magsalita, marami kaming naisingit sa lecture. Kaya pag sinabi ni Doc, 15 minutes. Sabi ko, isulat natin para hindi kulang sa 15 at hindi sobra sa 20. So here it is. Of course, with our guests, Ma'am kanina, si engineer na nagbigay sa atin ng topic on Magna Carta of Women. And then mga speakers natin na nag-share ng mga successes stories, no? Sa kanilang buhay, being a woman, no? In several fields. So, I may say it's quite happy noon. Happy lunch na siguro ang sunod. But most of all, happy Women's Month. My heart is full of happiness to see you all again. Missing this rostrum, and it has been 15 months, the last time I stand here, during our hello and farewell party. It's always nice to be back. Diba? Iba talaga ang to be home. No? Kasi it's our second home diri sa ATI. When Doc Eden called up to visit her and share some highlights of my milestones in agricultural extension service, I was hesitant to say yes, but I cannot say no to Doc Eden and the ATI family. But the mere thought of taking a long trip makes me feel dead tired. Pero hindi naman siguro kapon kasi kasama ko si Ma'am Elma. Ang daming napag-usapan. But the excitement and eagerness to be with you all, top it all. Nakakamiss din itong GAD activities natin, which I handled for 5 years, making change, work for women. Our 5-year national theme and sub-theme this year as Agenda ng Kababaihan tungo sa Kaunlaran, which aims to create and facilitate platforms to discuss good practices, gaps, challenges, and commitments in pursuing gender and development. This is to strengthen the implementation of Magna Carta of Women. Hence, this symposium to inspire women and girls to be agents of change, to contribute in promoting gender equality and the empowerment of women. Way back, extension, along with 2 male agricultural technicians, I was assigned, my first assignment during my stint sa agriculture, no? Was assigned to conduct research and establish technical demo farms for Erie, Urartip, Picard, and the UP College of Agriculture. My being a lady did not curtail me from performing equally with my male counterparts. Hirap pala sa research, no? Tagakamang gagid sa field na. So, kung anong ginagawa ng dalawang lalaki, yun din ang ginagawa ko. Kaya natin to. Kaya natin. In fact, ahead of them, I was assigned as an agricultural technologist in my hometown. Naunahan ko sila kalabas sa mga putik na yon, no? Because of our performance, we were evaluated and we were given local assignments sa hometown. So it was a home base, no? With grateful heart, I promised myself to work harder, perform better, and strive to improve. For when you improve yourself, you are improving the lives of those around you. And was lucky enough when I was the technician in our municipality, was lucky enough to attend a practical course on agricultural extension methods and approaches by the Ministry of Agriculture Government of Israel, conducted in Antique College of Agriculture, which honed and enhanced my skills in handling the roles and responsibilities of extension worker. We were 11 technical staff in the municipality of Hamtic, each of us handling 7 to 10 barangays as our coverage. And each barangay, pinangunahan ko talaga, gumawa ako ng barangay development plan ng kada barangay. No? So each of my coverage, my barangay development plan as my master plan. So when my municipal agriculturist have seen that, have read that, nakita niyang nakagaguide sa daily routine work namin sa extension, pinagawa na rin ng ibang technicians. No? Minsan, kahit na medyo namamaktol na sila. Of course, dami nating documents na kailangan when we do the barangay development plan. Pero ginawa pa rin because talagang napag-utusan na rin ng municipal agriculturist. And just imagine organizing. No? Kung 7 ang barangay mo, you have 7 farmers association. You have 7 rural improvement clubs. You have 7 4-H clubs to engage to their activities, sustain their projects, and maintain your connections with them. No, ganyan kahirap. Talagang lakad pa yan, ha? Wala pa maraming sasakyan noon. That was 1980s, no? So, swerte lang kung ang partner mong technician, lalaki na may motorsiklo, then you can have a ride. Pero most of the times we walk, no? Walk talaga. Sa ibang instances, during these days sa technicians, pag wala kang service, wala ring extension service. Di ba? No, nakita niyo yon sa ating mga rural women, mga farmers, leaders. Sino dire ang ang agricultural extension workers? Wala. RBOs, extension workers. May service ka, ma'am? Naglalakad din. Nagta-tricycle. Minsan hindi pa ma-refund yung pamasahe, di ba? Kasi kulang sa traveling, no? Expenses. So, we really have to do that. And then, during those times, the farm and the home visit was real. Talagang lumalabas kami for the farm and home visit. We're in, baon ka talaga. Magbaon ka ng lunch mo, and you eat with the farmers, you share their lunch, you share your baon, no? Minsan wala pa silang ulam. You give a child 2 pesos, ang bibilhin niya, akala ko yung yung dried fish ang bibilhin. Hindi eh. Kalamay na pula. Ano yan sa inyo? Muscovado. Oo. Sabi kasi niya, pag dried fish ang bibilhin niya, 2 piraso, 3 piraso lang. So kung muscovado, lahat sila makakain kasi binubudbud sa kanilang kanin, no? That was the saddest scene that I have seen during my stint sa extension, no? Aside from those, helping mothers solve their problems. Minsan up to financial problems. Di ba, ma'am? Na-experience niyo yan? So, medyo those days, not this time ha, kasi ngayon very empowered na ang mga women, rural women, especially mga asawa ng mga farmers natin, no? Mas na-train na sila, marunong na silang gumawa aside from farming, may extra activities din sila, no? May sariling kita, no? So, I don't want to share those mga kasubo ba. Ako pag nagmuni-muni, I just want to reflect on and remember all the good things lang para masayang buhay, di ba? And then, these days, farmer classes, those days, kami talaga, nilalakad namin yan pag mga farmers classes, kailangan talaga on time ka, no? Mabuti na lang pag morning ang schedule. May masakyan ka pag uwi mo. Pero pag after lunch na, wala ka talagang, wala nang dumadaan ng mga sasakyan, no? Ganyan kahirap noon to extension services, no? So, that time, farmers classes were conducted and women were immensely involved in farming activities and voices were only heard through the rural improvement clubs. But food always in the home was in abundance because of strengthened 4-H club, devoted much time to household part to projects nila, no? So, mga 4-H noon, ang gagaling ng mga bata, no? Ngayon, mag-meeting ka pa lang, lahat may cellphone. Hindi mo na matanong kung anong mga problema, anong mga project, di ba ma'am? As extension workers, medyo yan ang dilema ng mga ng extension workers natin this time, no? Iba ang what's this? Mga love ng mga 4-Hers natin ngayon. But you still organize your 4-H, ma'am? Meron pa rin. Okay, meron pa rin. Even in school, may 4-H na rin tayo in school, di ba? Out of school and in school. Okay. So my 7 years with BAEX was memorable and full of field experiences. I can say that no negative experiences, only opportunity to grow, learn, and advance along the road of self-mastery. From struggles comes strength. Even pain can be wonderful teacher. But when better opportunities is laid before us, we tend to consider it as a growth, as advancement. Hence, grab such opportunities. Though entrance to ATI was gripping and competitive, we were able to hurdle and appreciate challenges that has come our way. Personnel development was very supported to prepare staff to a more demanding and strenuous functions, an additional designation, but was compensated with visits and stay around the Philippines and even in some parts of the world. Kasi dito sa ATI, aside from the trainings conducted here in the center, we are also trained in some other parts of the Philippines, no? Sometimes outside. So my experiences is with the Ministry of Agriculture in Indonesia and Myanmar, a side trip in Thailand, parang gano'n, no? But siyempre, din mas maraming travel yan outside. So 32 years of government service was dedicated to ATI. So that was 7 years in the extension and 32 in ATI. Ilang taon yun? Half of which in Antique and another 16 years in Aklan. Of course, in ATI, with a better paying job, socioeconomic condition was boosted, no? As the 5 children were able to finish courses from best universities and landed better paying jobs too. My years with ATI were full of challenges, demanding but a productive one, surrounded by people with good heart. My heart is full of gratitude to my family, who had been so understanding and caring, and always supporting my every activity as I earnestly perform my duties and responsibilities, though unfairly dedicating 5 days in ATI in my work and only 2 days with my family. Para mangingiyak-iyak na palagi yung mga bata pag maalis ko ng Sunday afternoon. to report to ATI. And then Friday afternoon, mabuti nga, we were given this flexi time by the director. Friday, we were allowed to leave, no? So we can be with our family. Pero kulang pa rin, no? Tayong mga nanay talagang halos kulang ang oras natin sa ating mga anak, family, no? But everything won't always be a bed of roses. For I was deeply brokenhearted and mournful for the early demise of my beloved dad, Ray, o our retirement plans for the family. No? Hindi man lang hinahintay yung retirement.